Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Oh, congratulations. Please keep your camera down. Don't put your camera
yes,
up.
sir. Yes, sir. We'll do that.
Oh, congratulations.
Well,
now on your table, we can see your table, right? So you can put something on your table.
Okay,
right?
Sure, we can do that. Let me find something here. Let me find something.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. We can see your heart.
Your heart
your hands. You have video, right? You can see video, right?
I do. I can see what's going on, guys. I'm really sorry. I am not technically adept. This is the problem with doing these things. I'm still trying to get this all together. But thanks for having me. Thanks for being patient, and I promise I will try to make it worth your while.
It's fine. Yesterday I messed up, because I put on yesterday, and it was like when I was on vacation, and then I put on yesterday, and people start to ping me, hey, are we here? We are waiting. And say, what? It is tomorrow. And then I check and I check. Okay.
Oh, wow. So we're batting down. No problem.
So you see, I put here. You see my lovely bullshit button, man. You are doing really.
I'm surprised the battery still works. I thought you'd have to put new batteries in it.
So I put some big coins here. It's it is 10 ounce and 5 ounce coins, right? And you guys will love this guy, right? Tell me you don't like it, right? This guy, because I know a lot of people like this Mexican, right? Libertad. Yes. This is 5 ounce Libertad. I see a lot of video last days, and I have one of these coins, and I really like them. Cash and coins, we are good now. Okay, rock and roll. We already too late, right?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Oh my gosh.
Let's do it. So, guys, we have some question here, and to be like this, I will ask some questions, and I will release one layer from here, so you see more funny coins here, right? Okay, so first question. It's everyone want to know this. I believe you basically told this a couple of times, but let's explore.
Let's explore.
You like this guy? I like this guy. Let's explore. Yeah. So let's explore. Yeah. My question is, can I copy it? Maybe I can copy it. I don't know. 1 second. Let's copy it.
Try copy
it. Chat. And so everyone can see this.
Yeah, I'm going to grab some stuff out of the vault. Hang on. I'll continue.
Yeah. So we want to know, Houston, how Houston becomes precious metal stocker, like from beginning. Why the heck you stock metals and not real estate or other commodities? Yeah, silver metal. Let's explore.
Let's explore. Okay, we got a little something here for you.
Oh, nice, man. It's bigger than mine. This is how many? It's 1 kilo.
Yeah, well, these are here. These are 10 ounce. These are 10 ounce. These are the Eagles from JM Bullion, the ultra high relief Eagles.
Wow, very nice, beautiful.
It came out. Yeah. But yes, the thing is, precious metal stacking for me was one of those things that I kind of stumbled into accidentally. I really did. The thing was, I had a number of failures in the other capital markets. So real estate, I did pretty good, but in bonds and stocks and treasuries, currencies, I really lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money in all of them. And but the reason why I did good in real estate is because, and I wasn't a flipper. I just bought a house, but I was able to time the interest rate really well to get a great deal. And then when I refinanced into lower interest rates, when I actually saved a ton of money, then rolled that money over into precious metals once we sold the house, and that helped a lot. But after I had got the real estate thing down, I was trying to find other ways to turbocharge my retirement, and accidentally stumbled on Mike Maloney and learned about precious metals from there.
So Mike Maloney was your mentor, right? Who was your mentor?
He was my initial mentor. I mean, I went straight from him to what's his name? Bill Murphy and the guys at GATA. And then I started listening to Chris Dwayne from Never Told, Elevate Metal, Silver Joker, and those guys. And so, yeah, but Mike Maloney was my first. Hidden Secrets of Money was the first series I ever watched on precious metals, and it changed quite a bit.
Yeah, interesting. When you started? What year?
I started in November of 2013. So, yeah, probably about 7 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Whoa, 13. Wow.
Yeah, so you've been in the business about as long as I have. We're about the same time in the business.
Yeah, I started in 2015, 2016, somewhere. So when I started, I will tell you, when I started, I basically was listening to these guys, but I never was in I was in crypto for 3 years,
right?
And I still I have some crypto, but I'm like a dead crypto. I'm not gambling gaze, I have some crypto and I locked it and I forget about this. It's my cold wallet. I don't touch it. I don't play this game. I just knew one day I will be rewarded. Who knows when? So basically, after crypto, I was looking like, what, like these guys are talking about gold, silver, but is it really I need to invest? There are two things. One thing is to hear, another thing to put your finger, right? And to put finger is very hard, very hard. How
it is.
And when you started from I believe it was $30, right, in 2013.
Well,
right?
in 2000. Well, that's the thing. In 2013, since it was late in the year, it had come down from 37 down to about 22, 23. And when I saw that chart, I went, "Oh, this must be the bottom," right?
Oh, yeah. And I was watching like 2-3 years, but I start to buy 15, 16, okay, let me buy some, because I wanted to have some silver and just put your finger. And I remember when I was buying, it was $20. So I started from 2015, 16, all the way down from 20 to 13 to 12. And even when it was 11 something dollars, and I remember very well, it was a dead zombie walking, dead zombie walking.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Upmax and I see quiet, everyone in shock. And I bought $5,000 this day when it was $11, $12. Why? Because, crypto teach me. You buy when there is a blood on the street, and you sell when everyone want to buy.
Right.
So I bought this day. Yeah, very cool, very interesting. Okay, so sound like you really, you are not in real estate, you are not in commodities. Interesting how you see market, how you play markets. Like everyone has 401k. I have 401k, but are you doing anything above this?
No. Well, the 401k, the one I have, because I work for the federal government, I can actually move my money around within different indexes in that 403c is what it is. It's a 403c. And so I can go from bonds to treasuries to stocks. And even the, the combination funds, the ones that, they're like the life cycle funds that are a mix of everything. And so what I'll do is I'll try to see what the trend is, the macro trend, and then try to position in those indexes. So for example, right now I'm in the long bonds or the F fund. I'm in bonds because I see there's going to be, I think, a stock collapse. And, the thing is, it's just like with any kind of movement, these markets are so violent and so volatile right now that if you miss things by a day, you've missed it. So I stay in bonds as I can see that the stock market's going to start to calm down and come down in price, and it's going to bring the 30-year to 10-year and a 2-year bond with it. And when bonds reverse like that in our index, you actually make gains in your finances. Yeah,
look like you understand very well in these bonds and all this. I have no idea about these bonds. So for us, for stockers, right? What you are talking about, that you are working for federal and you basically still move into gold and silver. It's a huge sign, right? So you are not messing up with the government. What I'm talking about?
Yes.
Kiss. You're not messing up with this crap.
Absolutely. Yeah. I am part of the problem. I admit it. I'm part of the problem. I am a draw on the tax system. I do try to mitigate that by, actually working, unlike a lot of my colleagues who just show up to work. But yeah, so being part of the government, one of the things you learn about working for the government is that they're not as adept and as sharp as you might think. A lot of people think that if you somehow slip on your taxes, or if you somehow violate some federal law by taking a camera inside of a federal building or something like that, that the system is swift and capable, and there's going to be instant consequences. But I'm telling you right now, the federal government's been mismanaged for so long that they slip on a lot of things. I mean, look at the CFTC watching the comics; they don't see a thing.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I will tell you, one time I have problem with IRS. I remember when I was in a vacation, I am back and I open envelope and I see $60,000. IRS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you believe my heart stopped?
Yes.
$60,000. Wow, man.
Yeah.
And I went to local IRS, show them, they say, what the heck? And this guy, and I say, I pay my taxes, I'm working in a company now, and don't mess up, And he said, let's do whatever you have. And, and he checked my wife, and my wife have one time check for I don't remember, 600.24, $600.24. And he said, you know what? Someone mess up. Instead of $600.24, they remove dot, and they show on your account $60,024. I say, yeah. So what we do? He said, don't worry, I will fix it. So the guy from RS sends them all paperwork, and they, instead of saying we are sorry, they say, okay, it's our fault, but we will still charge you. They send me bill $100. I was so happy to pay it. I was never happy to pay, bills to RS like this time, Yeah. So very cool.
So what you should have did, if you weren't scared of the specter of government, what you should have did was deposited the money, have the money go into your account. Whatever interest you earned on it for the one day, you keep that so you can help pay the bill. You have to pay them after they make their mistake.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, you are really sharp. You're really sharp. Okay, let's next question I have. I ping you here. Okay.
Sure.
So, what metals 5150 stock during his metal journey? What is your metal strategy? Because we all know silver, but you basically talk about palladium, platinum, and other metals. I just want to know, is it suddenly, or you have some specific strategy, or you have some feeling, like deja vu? You know what I'm talking about?
I know, yeah.
Like recently I had deja vu. I was watching oh man, I was talking about platinum. Then one day it boom in my head. Deja vu, I need to buy platinum. And I went ahead and I bought some platinum. So what is your meta strategy? Interesting. How you basically play between silver and other metals.
Okay, so the thing you need to understand is that I am now I am a silver bug now, but I didn't start out that way. For me, I was simply looking for whatever had the highest yield. Remember, I wanted to turbocharge my retirement. It could have been eggshells or leaves or Q-tips. It didn't matter what the asset was. I wanted something that was going to perform and give me more cash into my retirement fund. But when I did stumble upon precious metals and, of course, initially silver and some gold, I actually started just by dabbling in all of them. So, initially I did stack just gold and silver. And at the time, I think my gold to silver ratio was probably 90% silver to 10% gold when I first started. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I went, there's something to this. And so I began to look at copper. I looked at copper, then I bought some because it was pretty cheap to buy. But then I looked at platinum and palladium, okay? And after I just looked at them, and after telling a good friend about them, he turned me on to rhodium. So kind of in that order, we went from gold and silver to copper. Then I bought some platinum. Then I bought some palladium, and then rhodium. And this all happened probably in the first 2 years. So probably by March of 2015, I had bought rhodium, and that's all six. I've owned all six metals.
So how you basically have this feeling to buy, other metals? Like it's based on some strategy, or you just did it because someone told you? Like just interesting.
No, well, the thing is, I started exploring. I was looking at charts, so I was reading charts, and I could almost remember from memory the silver chart and that big spike up in 2011 and how things came down. So I says, I wonder what the other long-term charts look like on the metals. And once I started digging around on the commodities metals charts, I had noticed that some of these other metals were doing some very interesting things, and if their trends were similar to silver, then there was opportunity there. And that's what turned me on to the idea of trying to invest in them. Now, the thing you got to keep in mind is that when it comes to palladium, and especially rhodium, it was one of those things at the time to where you had to plan to buy because it wasn't cheap. Platinum wasn't cheap either back then. So you bought a little bit of platinum, a little bit of palladium, and a little bit of rhodium, and then you loaded up on silver, of course, and a little bit of gold.
Okay. And this palladium, right? It's kind of
Yes,
strange metal, right?
it
is.
is.
You was able to buy it from a dealer?
Yeah, the palladium I was able. Yeah, APMEX actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that goes to show you. See, back when I started, everything was available. SGOT, everything was available. You could get, your copper up to rhodium, everything you want. No, you couldn't get rhodium from APMEX, but you get rhodium from Kitco, and I think at the time you could also get it from Money Metals Exchange.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Money Metal Exchange. You told us about Money Metal Exchange.
Right.
They have good vault, right?
Right. Yes, they do.
Good vault.
Very good.
Nice.
I want to tell you about my strategy real quick before we move on, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So my strategy right now is to just stand pat with a little bit of fractional gold and a little bit of silver. But the reason why I have the amount of silver I had is because I actually cashed in all those other metals, platinum, palladium, and rhodium, at a certain point for silver. I watched the ratios as I watched the charts to see when those metals started separating themselves from silver. So, for example, I bought rhodium at around 77 to 1 when I first got it, and I was buying silver at the same time. At that time, you could get 77 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of rhodium. Well, as the rhodium market started disregarding or ignoring all the manipulation because it didn't have derivatives at that time. Rhodium didn't have derivatives. They weren't part of any metals manipulation, and they went to $13,000 an ounce. Rhodium did. So once rhodium got to $13,500 an ounce, I thought it was a good idea, since silver had actually gone down from that time, to sell my rhodium at a loss. Well, not a loss, but they sold, when you sell rhodium at that high, they sell it to you. They buy it below spot. They won't buy, at a premium, and they won't buy it for spot. They'll, discount you like $1,000 because the price moves so violently, $400 a day. They couldn't trust it. So I sold the rhodium, and I was able to sell the rhodium at 550 to 1 to silver. So I was able to get a monster box of silver for 1 ounce of rhodium by the time I decided to let my rhodium go. So I went from 77 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of rhodium when I bought it, and then I sold it for 551 ounces of silver when I sold it.
How much it is today?
Rhodium today is right around $9,000 an ounce.
Oh, it went down, right?
Or you mean the ratio?
The ratio, the ratio.
Yeah, the ratio right now I think is something like 400 to 1. No, well, actually it's less than that because silver went up. So it's gonna be like 350 to 1 or something like that.
So you guys understand that we are in other paradise, The Silver 5150 is so experienced dude that we are, I believe most of us, not me, but I know we have a lot of people who just join, and they try to grab 100, 200 ounces of silver. And you are talking about like a cosmos journey.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. But the reason is because, I started out and I took, like you did, I took a lot of my savings and I jumped in really big at first, and that savings, that was cash savings for, for a lot of other things, but we'd already bought a house and we'd already had a car or a couple of cars. And so there were no more big ticket items on the book. So it felt like a safe play given where the charts were. And once you get up into that level, $20,000, $30,000 of investment, that gives you a lot of room to move around and play a bit. if you have the guts to do it. You got to have the courage to do it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, you don't need to tell me, because in last 5 years before this year, I was feeling like I am idiot. Trust me. When I was buying silver, I was like, you know, like, no, it's a hate, you know, asset. No one wanted it. Trust me.
Right.
And you go, you put even $200, and you know, and you just feel this hate. And more, I will tell you something more. When you promoted your coins and you try to share and you try to show, the most feedback was, oh, what, you buy this garbage, you're going to melt it. You know, it was 90% people were telling you're going to melt it. And what we have today, look what we have today. It's exactly in opposite. People are buying premium coins. Why?
Yes.
Because they start to understand the value of beauty. The value of beauty, to be able to own for $30 one full ounce of silver, so beautiful, like all these tigers, you know, all this, you know, Australian, you know, all these coins, you know, and finally we see, you know, appreciation. That's very cool, right? Last days.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, finally, very cool last days. So what I have else? So proportions, like everyone may be interested, like if you mess up between different metals, let's say silver and gold and platinum. Let's talk about this three, okay? This palladium, heavy metal. We're not talking about even heavy metal, but let's talk about this three. Like, what kind of proportion do you recommend? Because I know, you know, there are even, trust me, 6 months ago, if you go any channel, especially gold, everyone was talking, you must hold gold a little bit on silver, maximum 50-50. And only last days, people start talking about 90% silver, 10% gold. What are your strategies?
Well, I tell you right now, I'm just telling you straight out the gate, since I've let go of those other noble metals, and noble metals, guys, if you don't know, are precious metals that are the higher level ones that are not silver. So any precious metals that are not silver are considered noble precious metals. That's platinum, palladium, rhodium, and gold. Okay. Noble, yes, sir.
Okay.
And so I let platinum, palladium, and rhodium go. And if you guys watch my older videos, you can see exactly when I did it and how I did it. And so now all I have is silver and gold. My gold to silver ratio right now is 98% silver and 2% gold. That is how strongly I believe in gold, in silver's movement coming in the next few months. Now, you know, if I didn't suspect that much performance out of silver, I would have more of a 10-to-1 or 20, 20 to 80 or 10 to 90 ratio. But right now I am 98% silver and 2% gold. And the reason why I endorse,
wow, you're crazy.
I am SILVER5150, and I endorse the silver bias message. Yes, sir.
Wow, 98%.
So my reasoning for this is simple. Now, you guys know I use the Money Metals Exchange, and I use an exchange to do stuff, but you don't have to be part of an exchange to do what I plan to do. So what I plan to do is I sold all my gold when the gold to silver ratio, well, not all of it. I still have like 3 ounces left, but I've got much more silver. I sold my gold, the majority of it, when gold to silver ratio was over 100, and not very far, like 102 to 1. And so I sold my gold then because I bought it at like 60 to 1. So I sold then. I sold, I think at that time, probably 24 ounces of gold. I got back a lot of silver in exchange. So now what I'm waiting for, just like with rhodium, is I'm waiting for silver to close the price gap on gold. And it's doing a pretty good job of it. We were up to 126 to 1 earlier this year. Now we're down to 76, I think, tonight. So as we as we get closer, you first.
I just want to comment that you talk about gold silveration, and I did a video on gold silveration 10 to 1 is coming, and you know I got almost 1,000 views. You cannot believe, you know. 1,000. I posted it on a Silver Forum, and you know, it was a battle, man. It was a battle. It was like, you can go Silver Forum and see my post, you know, gold silver ratio 10 to 1 is coming. And I put, you know, I did a good fundamentals, you know. It's not just throw, why it is coming. And I must agree that, we will probably see something where near 30 to 1. I'm very positive. I'm not sure about 10.
Right.
I'm sure 10 to 1. But let's say 30 to 1 is coming, and it will be shock for many people. It will be shock, man.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. And the thing is, there's a number of dynamics at play here when it comes to the idea of trading metals. It's a little tricky to do. So if you're not comfortable with doing that, I say just buy silver, because the reason being is that I think that silver's overall performance over the next 10 years is going to justify silver being the final trade you make, meaning that you really don't need to trade in anything else unless you've got specific plans. Silver is going to do so well, outperforming so many things in our society, credit, bad debt, other metals, that you really can just sit in silver, buy your silver, hold it. You just got to know when to use it. You got to know when to use it. And that's why you want to be part of this community. Listen to people like Silver Game of Thrones and myself, the other big guys out there, Silver Joker, listening and watching for when these opportunities come along, because the timing is very critical on this. You can have a bunch of silver, but if you don't know when to either trade it or sell it, you could waste it, and so it goes for any metal. But when it comes to gold and silver, I have a little bit of gold, because for some people, only gold will do. And I want to make sure that I can trade with those people. But I think that silver fits more scenarios than anything else. And my recommendation is if you can't really do much else, just buy silver and you'll be fine.
Yeah, gold is for kings, silver is for rich, and is Constitution silver or John silver is for poor. I'm kidding.
Whoa, you're going to get some trouble for that, man.
I know. That's why I say I'm kidding. Yeah, silver is, when you say gold, right? I just wanted to say something about this. So the strategy you said, I'm always I'm thinking that in the next 3-4 years we'll see. Have you seen this Truth Never Told? Chris channel.
I have.
He has channel to Truth Never Told, and I see. Sometimes I'm watching him. He is a so cool guy, and if you watch my videos, I always use this button, right? Why? Because there is so much bullshit, and all these people, we all play these games, right? We all play these games with the market, with the dollar, but it's all fake.
It is all fake.
It's all fake. All this paper, all this, bonds and stocks, it's all built on this stuff. It's all built on gold and silver. And the Snake King. Have you seen movie this caricature Snake King? The king is snake.
Right.
So there is nothing to cover, but people play.
The emperor has no clothes on. Yeah, and that's the thing. You can sit there and you can try to figure out if any of these other assets are any good for you, but understand that all the paper assets and all the paper financial instruments, they've been around for a while. They've run their course. They're long in the tooth. They're worn out. And the next wealth cycle is going to be in precious metals, because you can't just have a financial asset. You have to have a financial asset that can transform bad assets into good purchasing power. See, that's the thing. It's, people say, well, where do we go next? Well, you got real estate that has the ability to absorb bad debt, but the problem is it's financed by bad debt. So it can't do anything. It's real estate. Everybody needs a house to live in. So by all means, get a house if you can, especially at a good interest rate, but don't expect it to, turn into some kind of cash cow, because it doesn't have that ability. The housing market is at the top of the range right now, and the interest rates are as low as they can get. So, unless you're really good at flipping houses and doing this sort of thing, real estate's not going to be the asset or the wealth cycle for you. That wealth cycle has come and gone. The next one is a very simple one, and that is precious metals. Gold to a certain extent, but silver, I think, is going to be the king of metals when it comes to performance, what you're going to need. And so I got something I want to add to that. When it comes time for us to sell, or when we start to see higher price valuations on precious metals, especially silver, people wonder how they're going to use their precious metals. I want to submit that I think the very institutions that we've been buying from, whether it be on eBay or whether it be the online retailers, they will actually start using your email and possibly even your phone number to text you and contact you and ask you if you want to sell. When we get up into these higher numbers, like I know Silver Game of Thrones thinks might be bullshit, but we get into the $1,000 range or the $1,500 range, on say, Silver Eagles, which is my favorite example. I think there's going to be such a low volume of inventory that retailers are going to be pursuing us to see if we want to sell back to them. Now, of course, they're going to try to gouge us and, and hose us. But, you can choose at that time if you've made enough profit and you can sell to them. So I think it's going to create a complete 180 in the market. So if you're worried about who you
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I even tried to do video today, but somehow it was no sound. Like exactly what are you talking about? Exactly what you're talking about. Because the next cycle is going to be get this crap out of this world, right?
Yes, sir.
This world's supposed to have some real values, and then all this fake asset will be transformed. Where they will transform? There's only this way. And on top of this, we have inflation, right? Because they print trillions and trillions of dollars. On top of this, we have this QVD. I don't want to pronounce it full, because they will block, right? We have this virus, right? Garbage, And then all miners are closed, right? And, can you imagine how much silver will be this year? Maybe usually they do 800, 900, but this year already 4, 5, 6 months, we are, out. So maybe half, maybe 300, 400 ounces. And then everyone, give me my silver. And you're right.
Exactly.
And if you go up,
That's the thing. It's like at the same time, you've got one of the lowest production years around thanks to the virus. And then you've got one of the highest years for demand thanks to the price shock. So, what happens in November when those two events converge and meet?
Yeah. What happened in November?
Yeah. So, like I said, you're going to have a mining gap that's going to intersect with the highest demand for silver from the globe. The thing is only probably about 0.1% of the population actually makes any pursuit for silver, be it because, say, for example, in, the Philippines, you can't buy silver. I don't believe. In some places you can't buy silver. In other places, the, VAT tax or the duty tax is so high on it that a lot of people don't, bother trying to invest in them. So you've really only got 0.1% of the population that's, making an active play for silver. Now, mind you, some of those people are millionaires and billionaires, but the real hunk of the population has not gotten into silver investing. So now let's say we've moved up to 2% because we had this big price jump from $19 to $27. So now we're at 2%. What happens when we get to 5% of the population or 10% of the population? I think we'll see 20 or 25% of the population start to try to get into silver or precious metals when the 60 Minutes and the main news networks are telling people they need to do it. By then, of course, it's too late. But what's that going to do to the price then when you have that huge of the population trying to get into a market that's almost dried up?
Yep. So my next question will be close to that. Look on this, what I want to ask you.
Okay.
What are the metal perspective in today political economical situation? Where do you see metals during reset? And we will see soon. That's what I believe. Also tell me, do you think reset or not reset? And also, like, I want to understand what is your vision on where metals will reset, during reset, and after reset. And I will add a little bit more. There is some information that from the next quarter, 2021, government, you close to them, better. Government will basically, they are already all in, but they will introduce the crypto dollar. Now, when we say crypto dollar, don't think it will be Bitcoin or Litecoin on any public blockchain.
No.
By the way, I am IT engineer. I am working with blockchain also. So I know blockchain from inside. Okay. So don't think it will be public blockchain. It will be some private, which will be owned by government, and they will go with this crypto dollar, I believe. And this why they mess up with the dollar. They don't care. They don't care. They can print trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars because it's going to end. Who cares, right? So they will introduce this crypto dollar, and they will introduce this wallets, like private wallets. You have this bank, Chase Bank. It will be like personal account. It will be another wallet which will introduce the crypto digital dollar. So I believe this is coming with all these universal incomes. So where the metals? I know my vision. I mean, it is in your vision. When you see metals before reset, during reset, and after reset, what will happen?
Okay, so this is a multi-part question. I'm going to go ahead and take it in pieces. I'm going to make sure I don't miss anything. So real quick, what I think about today's economic and political climate, if you want to call it that. So I think they're completely disconnected. I think the economy and politics are completely disconnected. Now, politicians know the real state of the economy, but they refuse to inform or lead the public properly on it or through it. They really don't want to be bothered with it. They're more worried about their careers than the best interest of the people. They're concerned about the economy, but only as it affects their families and their lives. They really don't care very much about us. The things are going on in the background. They're scared to death because they don't know what to do. But at the same time, they know how to preserve themselves, which I think is what they're mostly doing right now. When Jerome Powell gets on the TV and has his fireside chat, take a close look at this guy. There's sweat on his lip, and he is scared to death. He has no idea how this is going to turn out, but he's going to try to tell us that everything's going to be fine. Now, look, don't get me wrong. They're not all that bad. Some of them are out there trying to do the right thing. Some of the political leaders are still morally grounded. They're trying to do the right thing, but they're being overrun by those politicians with very limited moral compasses, the ones that don't care. So in other words, like the former White House chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, he said, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. All right. So we have a series of global crises right now, but our leaders, they seem more intent on making political hay out of them rather than actually nailing down medical or economic solutions to them. They don't really care. Now, throwing cash around, like Jerome Powell, throwing cash around from multiple catapults, is not leadership. And I'm talking about central banks around the globe. They're printing like crazy right now. So, properly pooling available resources for the best results. Now that's leadership. Throwing money around is not leadership. So that's all I'm gonna say about the political part in the economy. They're completely disconnected. Now, the next part of your question, where do I see metals during the reset if it occurs soon? Like, let's say it happened next week. Say, for instance, the reset happened next week. I believe that if we see a currency reset soon, it's going to blow the currency and credit systems to kingdom come. I mean, just wide open. You're going to see credit cards, businesses go out of business and all kinds of things because we're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. And they won't ever really be ready. But at least, they're trying to create a cash buffer, but it's not going to be enough. Okay. So what this is going to do.
I can see that banks can be frozen, and I can see that SWIFT system can be frozen. A lot of things can happen, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, no problem. Because what will happen once these credit and currency systems start to break down and fall apart is it's going to inadvertently create what I think is going to be an exploding gray market. Now, I'm the only one talking about a gray market. And so you have a black market where things are not allowed to be bought and sold. The governments and the law enforcement are watching to see if, whatever those things are. I have no idea. I don't want to get into the semantics of it. But things that you're not supposed to buy or sell, those are in the black market. Things that we normally buy and sell all day in open daylight, that's the white market. Well, the gray market is one where there's no third party or fourth party watching. The government's not watching. We're talking about your yard sales, your flea markets, Craigslist, Facebook, this sort of thing. And so those will be the gray market. And I think that's going to explode once the credit and currency systems break down. Can't get money out of the ATM. Credit card doesn't work. You still need stuff. You're going to have to find a way to get what you need by bartering with physical cash, if that's what the other person's willing to take, or precious metals if they decide they like what they heard about precious metals and will take those instead. So exactly. You're going to have a gray market. Yeah.
Yeah. Many people say you cannot eat silver, right? If SHTP will happen, what you will do? You cannot eat silver, So, but this is not true, right? You cannot eat silver. You cannot go eat gold. You cannot eat bullets, right?
No.
A lot of
Yeah,
things
yeah.
you cannot eat, but you can use it as a barter, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Because that's the thing, is always going to be equivalent exchange. There's always going to be somebody with something you need for something you have. You just got to find them. You just got to find it. And so that's where we're going to end up. People that haven't lost their minds. Now, if you're somebody that did not prepare, that did not stack, or didn't buy extra food or anything like that, you're going to be out. Okay, and you're going to be one of those desperate people out there that are probably going to be more prone to receiving lead than anything else if you don't watch your step. Because stackers and preppers, they don't really play. We don't play. We want what's good for our fellow man, but we're not about to give away everything we work for just because somebody else didn't prepare. I know that sounds cruel, but that's just the way life is. Now, so we'll have those.
Yep. And I believe all preppers, silver, especially silver stackers, they're all preppers. They are not only looking into one side. They're looking into all other sides, the food, the water, the cash, security, cameras. For example, I am investing a lot into all this stuff, I know these days are coming, and you need to be prepared. You don't need to be like, oh, I have my silver. Okay, go and take it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have any guns or anything. My silver's right here. It's a GS. Okay, but let's continue. If the reset does not happen soon, say for instance, if it takes until next year, which, wow, okay, then we'll see a continued slow breakdown of the just-in-time delivery system. I don't care what anybody says. There is a drawdown in the inventories in department stores and grocery stores. Every day you go in and you see these big empty gaps in the shelving. There are things that are not there that used to be there all the time. And this is part of the credit breakdown. This is part of the just-in-time delivery system breaking down. You don't have people or companies or factories producing goods. There's no goods to deliver, so they don't get delivered. Because people aren't working. People are, either losing their jobs because businesses are going out of business, or they're staying home for the sake of, health reasons, what have you. But it is a disconnect in the needs of the population versus what's being produced. And there's not enough being produced. And you're going to see those gaps in the shelves get bigger and bigger and bigger. And this will happen if the reset doesn't happen soon. However, you're going to see, like I said, a continued rapid deterioration in global currencies. And that's going to cause a much faster climb in the price of precious metal spot prices. Okay. And the speed of the climb in precious metals will far outpace the rate of decline in everything else. And that includes real estate, treasury, and bonds.
Yeah. Do you know in Germany, I saw recent news, they take a group of people and put them on universal income. I saw videos.
I did not know that.
Yeah. They put them on universal income for like 1.5 years, just making, testing all this. Yeah, this is coming. Do you think next currency, whatever it will be based on gold standard and silver?
Well, perhaps. I think it's going to be a combination of things. I think it's going to probably be based more on the overall commodities index, because now you're talking about countries, sovereign nations, trying to back their currency by their natural assets, by their natural commodities. It could be energy, it could be precious metals, it could be a combination of, say, both. All right. You can even, throw lumber and timber and stuff in there. Whatever that country's worth is, and whatever the hard assets it has of worth, is what they're going to have to use to try to shore up their currency, because, nobody's going to really believe that it's any good. A lot of people seem to forget that back in 2011, after we had the big market crashes and the housing boom went bust, that they had to restructure the entirety of the European Union's debt. People don't remember that. They had 10-year bonds that were up, into the 6s and 7s and 8s on interest on debt that was in the hundreds of billions of dollars. And they had to do, it basically was a currency reset in Europe in 2011, but they call it a debt restructuring is what they called it. And so basically they just created everything into a long bond. And so now these countries all of a sudden had low interest rates and low debt interest, and so this type of thing happens all the time. And so they don't tell you about it. They don't tell people about it. Just all of a sudden, you go to try to spend your money and it doesn't buy as much as it used to.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to the next currency, they're going to have to, it's probably going to be something that is, blockchain based or crypto based, but it's going to have some real weight behind it. It's not going to be the full faith and credit anymore. It's going to have to be backed mainly with precious metals. But I think countries are going to get creative and actually start throwing some other commodities in, like energy, for example.
Yep. One thing I study in this world that nothing is coming from nothing. When people say a cryptocurrency, it was some dude who developed it. It came from nowhere. All I can say is like this.
Yes, exactly.
Nothing is coming from nothing. Everything in this world is orchestrated.
Yes.
And they design it, and they basically develop it, they put into public, and so many people attracted now, and they it's multitasking. It's always multitasking. It's never only one thing. It is like take attention from this stuff, right? Why people need to concentrate on real stuff. Right? Give them some crypto. Then test this crypto, how it's going to be working. Test blockchain. Now, is it good, bad? What are downsides? And then finally, they will start to use it in a full steam. Like a Libra. You see this guy try to to go with a Libra, Facebook, right? And they say, no, it's too early. Wait, right? We are not ready. Okay, I'm waiting.
Even though it was ready.
Exactly. Very cool. Okay, let's switch a little bit. My next question will be more interesting. For Silver community, why the heck you decided to make a videos? Why? Because I know so many people we just stuck and don't share, don't talk even to your neighbors. Now, like I'm not talking to my neighbors, but on public, like it is so less, it's secure. I can basically expose. Let's expose.
Yes, exactly. Exposure. Yes.
Yeah. Why? I can tell you why I started, because I already told one day, I believe we are coming to gold age. We are coming when all this bullshit, all this garbage are going to be, all these balloons are going to disappear, and real stuff will come in, and you will see how from a high level, like a federal, people will come to the local, and when basically we organize the local communities, and local rules will be, and people who have hands, who can make something, some real stuff.
Real skills.
The real skills, for example, like who can make some products, some real stuff, which can be useful, right?
The magnet slide.
Brains. I told many times, silver, no brains, right? Just buy it. Right? What else you need? You don't need to think. It's not a crypto. Just buy it. So it will be in high demand, right? It will be in high demand. So it will grow, and real stuff will come in, and gold age, and all this bullshit garbage, CNN, media, all that will disappear, which don't provide any real value, and real value will come in. So like this is for me, and when I'm doing this, I also enjoying like express myself. So I believe I maybe like 100-200 people on my channel will get it and will start because of me, and they will spray it, and will spray it everyone to 50 other people. And
that's right.
Will be stronger this way, and it is coming to community. In next 2-4 years, you will see how community will grow, and how people will be basically join between all these communities. This is why I started. Why you started? Why you started?
I started. It's very much the same for the same reason you did, Silver Game of Thrones. I basically was able to reach out to people locally pretty easy. And by the time I had the courage to do that, I'd known enough about it to actually sound like I knew what I was talking about. I was able to convince people on the street, to not everybody. Most of the people were like the chocolate bar for the silver bar. They didn't know any better. But, a lot of people were actually receptive to it, and they would come back to me later going, hey, man, you know what? There's something to this. Thanks. And so once I seen I was getting some traction and I was busy stacking myself, I'm sitting there going, well, man, this must really be doing some damage to the supply issue, because basically the reason why we had low prices for so long is because the paper market was able to manipulate the physical supply and make it seem like there was no end to silver and it wasn't precious. Well, that kind of upset me a little bit. And I says, okay, you know what? If I really want to make this thing work, it's going to take a lot of people. And why wouldn't you want it to? Because the thing is, like you said, the more people that are involved with this movement, the better off we're going to be. If you have grocery store owners, doctors, lawyers, law enforcement, paraprofessionals, people on the street, regular moms and pops that are in this community, then why would you need to be concerned about what you'll have access to once this thing turns into the new silver age? Because everybody will be involved, and it'll be the people that are in charge of the stuff. So it's not necessarily, I don't care if people in government are involved, because they, all they produce is government, and that really doesn't help too much. But for the people that are out there doing real things, I was like, you know what, we need to reach as many people as possible, but you don't want to scare them. And this is what I tell people about curbing their enthusiasm. If you're going to go out and you're going to preach the silver gospel, kind of tone it down a little bit, take your excitement down to about half, and then explain calmly and rationally why you think this is, if the person is receptive. And a lot of people will be receptive depending on how you approach them. So the thing is, I basically wanted to get people involved so there'll be more of us as a stronger community. But also, I wanted to break the comics. They were really, really pissing me off to no end, the shenanigans they were pulling with the help of the CFTC to keep the game going, to make it look like silver would never, ever break out and become anything of import. So that was part of my motivation. I was enraged at what they were able to get with. And I says, okay, fine. If I can convince 10 people to go out and buy silver and truly be sincere about how it's going to enrich, improve, and protect their financial lives, then maybe I could reach a bigger audience. I've been watching YouTube videos for years, but didn't think I had what it took to communicate to people what I wanted them to know. So one night I was sitting in my bedroom and I decided to give it a shot. And here we are. And the thing is, my message hasn't changed at all.
I like that your channel grow like crazy, 2,000-3,000 subscribers. You really have courage, and you inspire people. I believe so many people, because of you, started to stock silver.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope so.
Yeah, and I will tell you, people don't believe that they can do something, right? And
right.
If you remember everything in your life, right? Mostly people doing because, left or right, and, okay, someone pushed them, but hey, I'm on my 50s, and I recognize that it's, if not you, then no one. You understand?
Right.
That we need to do this. Our every day, what we do, we start to build in our heads, right? And then we start to move in our reality, right? From your head, from your souls to your reality, right? But if not we, then no one. It's the same, If I think it's right, why you don't do this? If you think it's right, why you don't do this, right? Oh, I'm scared. Oh, yeah, I am scared. And what is your life? Your life gone for nothing,
Right.
Okay, go scare sheep, right?
Right.
So this is your life. You deserve it, right?
Exactly. Since you didn't contribute anything to it, and you didn't take any risk, and you didn't, basically, and basically the idea is, in my case, I realized that if I was going to do this, that it was going to come at a cost. The cost is that you have to let people in, because look, they don't want to connect with just anybody. You have to be a real person. You have to be no bullshit. Right?
Exactly. Right.
And you have to have skin in the game. If you're going to talk the talk, you better be walking the walk. That's why I show as much silver as I can. I show my silver. I show my friends silver. I show them that I live the life. This is the silver lifestyle that I live. Lose or win. It is the silver lifestyle. I live it. And trust me, I lived it at a loss for a long time. Just like you. We sat there and watched the price get beat to death, for no reason, thinking any day it's going to break. And it finally did. But up until that point, for those people, real quick, for you guys out there that started stacking this year, your timing is better than most market analysts in the world. If you came into the silver market in March, when that big smackdown happened, because it made the newsreels, you came in at a better time than anybody I know. And you have been able to, if you've been able to stack rapidly, you've done really well. So, the thing is that
you cannot say it better. There is a movie, Gladiator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you reminded me this guy, Gladiators from this movie.
Okay.
His name was Maximus.
Yes.
You must have a Maximus name.
Okay.
This. Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, very cool. Right. Yeah, exactly. If not we, then who we are, right?
Right.
I tell you, my father, he was sick, right? My father died like 10 years ago, and he was sick. And I remember days when I talking to him and say, "Hey, father, let's go to your friends. You know, I can take you and drive." He say, "Give me some time, and I will recover, and then we'll go." And it never happens. For me, it never happens, and he died. And for me, it was like I learned lessons. You know, I am the guy who is learning lessons, and for me, it was like, come on, you know, if you want to do something in your life and you are not doing, you know, you are a loser, right?
Yeah.
And this is why all these people, billionaires, millionaires, how they make money, because they just do what others, you know, afraid to do, right?
Exactly.
They don't have balls to do anything, right?
They don't take risk. Yeah.
They don't take risk. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Okay, one question I want to ask you, and this is what I want to basically explore a little bit, because you are a guru in all this credit story, accumulate more silver. So I tell you, in my life, I never borrowed something on credit.
Right.
All my life I pay debt. You know, if I have, of course, we all have debts, you know, credit card and houses and this one. But I never try to do like many of my friends are doing, like, oh, I have $30,000 on one credit card. Let's move it. What they call it, transfer? I don't remember.
They call it refinance. They basically what do they call that? They call that consolidation, debt consolidation.
Yeah, man, you are a guru. So let's do debt consolidation in other credit card. I say, what?
Yes,
it's exactly what our government is doing, right? They just push this debt to another generation, right? They push this debt to our kids, to their kids. That's what they're doing. $27 trillion, right? That's crazy. So I never did it, but now with last days, when I more or less I understand where we go, I start to think. I'll tell you why. Like what I start to think, like maybe I can reuse my credit score, because really my credit score is very high. It's more than 800.
Yes.
Credit score, you know, in the top of 800. So because you know I always pay. I don't care. I pay. You know, and I'm not like to borrow my life. You know, if I have, I go vacation. But if I don't have, then I sit and eat bread. Who cares, right? I'm not the one to take, you know, borrow my life from future. But last day I started to think, okay, I have high credit, and basically I can take credit card $20,000 credit limit. You know, like $20,000 credit limit, and there is a zero APR. So basically, theoretically, I can basically be a time capsule where I can take this credit card with $20,000, zero API, and pay nothing today, buy some gold, silver, and pay in 1 year or even in 1.5 years. So why not to do this? And the reason why I start thinking about it is you.
Really? Good. And the thing is, you need to understand that the credit system, you know, it ain't what it used to be. Back when they had the first credit card come out, I think it was the Diners Club back in 1959. You know, they had that happen. It was a very strict system. Credit was very strict, and it was very exclusive to people that they knew could pay it. Over time, credit has, you know, become looser and looser and looser, especially as we've had one crisis after another, and to the point to where it really has no teeth in it. The credit system does it. Now, for those of you out there that are a very debit-minded people, and you know, I know people that are debit-minded. They don't like using credit. They don't like racking it up. If they do, they pay it off as fast as they can, and I get it. You know, I've actually done that. I've been there. But what I noticed was we started to reach a inflection point in the financial system to where the credit system started to become weaker than the potential growth of precious metals. See, this is only at that time that you could try to make a decision like that. Now, for me, I did not dare dive into credit until I felt the precious metals spot prices were low enough to take the initial risk. Once I became more comfortable with it, it didn't matter if the price went up that much, because I was able to manage my monthly payments to keep the silver train rolling, like Silver Joker says. And that's the thing. It's a trick you're playing, because now the game you're playing is not against your finances. It's actually against time. Because if you can accumulate something that you want fast for very cheap, Well, it doesn't matter, if you can't make the money back fast enough to pay it off right away. You have the asset in your hand. You just need to manage the payments until you own it. Okay. So in the case of credit, for example, all right, we know that the price of precious metals are going up, and they're going to start going up for real here soon. Not because, necessarily there is a demand on silver and gold, for example, but not because that there is a shortage of precious metals, but because of the global crisis and the global bad things that are going on right now. They pour into these precious metals, and they're going to increase the price. Credit dying, currencies failing, governments making bad decisions, a failure to deal with this pandemic. All these things are going to feed into the growth of precious metals. And only now that we know that precious metals, silver proved that it could outperform any credit percentage you pay in penalties out there. Say, for instance, you got a credit card that pays 23%, that costs you 23% interest. That's 23% interest per annum, compounded. But by the time you get done, whatever gains that silver makes far outweighs that amount of interest you would pay if you don't pay the credit off early. So go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, but there are good deals today for people who has good credit score.
Right.
Do not pay any APR because you can get basically a loan for just because you have credit history, and sometimes even bank give you another credit card because they watch you, right? They monitor you. We're all under control, and they can give you 0 APR. This is just I don't understand, like why people don't use it. Why you need to take a loan, right? Because you can take credit card and be a time capsule and and pay in 1 year and 0 APR. Just be sure to pay your monthly payments, right? Whatever monthly payment is, $100.
That's right. Maintain it.
And be sure at the end of the day, take your pressure and give it away, and half of this sell it and pay this debt, right?
Right. Exactly. And that's what I tried to explain to Creo, the lone traveler. Creo, I know you're out there listening. Creo, the lone traveler, he asked me what I meant by taking this bad economic energy and turning it into good purchasing power. And it's exactly what you're saying. So the bad economic energy in this case is the credit system it was a system that was corrupt against regular people in the first place. The banks and the people that created the system are the winners to that system. But now that credit is starting to dry up, nobody wants to use it. They're getting desperate. And so they're offering things like 0 APR because they just want people in the system. They just want money velocity moving. Now, a lot of people that I know, they carry that 800 plus credit score. I did the same thing. They carry it around like a badge. It's a badge of honor. It says, I don't use credit because credit is bad. Well, why is credit bad? Because they told us in the beginning it was bad if you didn't pay it. Yes, and you heard horror stories about collection companies and all that stuff. Well, things have changed since then, but we carry these old ways in our mind, thinking that, if it's a rattlesnake, you don't touch it. But if it's a rattlesnake that doesn't have a head on it, you still don't touch it because it's a rattlesnake. But that's not true. The thing is, it doesn't have any teeth or a way to bite you anymore, like credit doesn't. So you can actually go up and pick up the rattlesnake and kind of fling it around a little bit because it doesn't have a head on it. So credit doesn't have the bite it had, but it's still available as a unit of exchange. And this is what the trick is, people. The trick is to get your hands on as much bad economic energy as you can in the form of currency, credit, whatever they're offering, because they're about to kill it off. They're about to kill off these systems, the currency and the credit. They're about to die. But before they die, now that they have no teeth, take advantage.
Yeah, I hope more people will listen what you say. And, I inspire you to download this video and share on your channel, okay? We will talk about this. I will tell you how to do this. So not only 800 people will see it now on my channel, but also a couple of thousand on your channel. And, it's going to die. And, the way you reuse this credit system, it's benefit for you, for your friends. And it's like, it's a no-brain game, right? Because
it is.
It's going only one direction. And whoever think silver will go back to $20, really, okay, why go to $20? Because it's manipulated. But look what happened, the road to Ruta is talking about this. In September, they're going to deliver how many? I don't...
it's 66,000 contracts. And it's something...
Yeah.
They don't have it. They don't have it. They won't be able to deliver it. They're going to have to declare a force majeure or even default. And if they say those words, the price of silver is going to go to the moon overnight. And they can't afford that.
But even let's say they manipulate again and will cover their losses, and will send people money and will, but this is the direction. The direction is clear here. It's
Yes.
not September or October. If not October, then December. It's a kind of when music really stops, right? Do you
Yes.
really want to be,
Without a chair?
this chair, or you want to jump, without this chair, right? Yeah, this is exactly. Yeah, you cannot say. Yeah, you say it perfectly. I like how it closes.
And that's the thing. And I want to add something real quick to that whole credit thing, guys. If somehow for some reason, 20% of the population decided to take my advice and they went out and they got their hands on whatever credit they could get a hold of, whether it's signature loans or 0 APR credit cards, or the credit cards that they have that are empty and have no balance on them, and was to go out and just to buy anything, not just precious metals, anything, we could blow the credit system ourselves. It would blow the credit system wide open. It's more pressure than it can handle, but it's not going to be that crazy. But if you are a stacker and you're listening to these, podcasts, trust me when I tell you, we have the ability to at least acquire most of the precious metal using their old corrupt tools in credit and currencies. Now, you have to earn the currencies, but you don't have to earn the credit. I mean, you have to pay it down over time, but you can basically take an advance on your earnings future to buy an asset that's going to grow faster than you can earn money. You can't lose.
You cannot lose. Hey, SILVER5150, do you have any insiders inside the Fed system? It sounds like when it's going to blow.
No, I don't have any insiders. And in fact, if you were to put me on a scale of, level of importance in the government, and say that the moon was, President Trump, I would be those earthworms down there in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. That's my level. I'm as low can get, but I understand the system, and that's about the only difference.
Be careful. There are a lot of gold in in the canyons here.
There is, and they'll bring it out when they need to. But you wait until people realize just how much gold there is relative to silver. I think we'll have that 20-to-1 gold to silver ratio. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. It's coming. It's coming. I believe it's coming. Wow. It was so cool. So what you think? We can continue, or you want to finish already 1.5 hours? What you say? We can do next week, or
yeah, we can do another one later if you want. Let people go on about their lives and stuff. We've talked about quite a bit, but I'm ready whenever you are. If you want to continue later this week or next weekend, let's go ahead and do that. And I will try to have my technical together, okay? Instead of making everybody sit and wait. That was very rude. I'm very, very sorry that happened.
No, it's fine. When I will try to basically cut from beginning the stream, because it's only 30-40 people see this, but then. When I cut it and when I basically modify it, you can download and it will be clean.
Excellent.
20 minutes will be gone.
Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead. We've got I think there's probably a few more topics we can cover. So let's do that next week.
Yeah. Let's do this next week. And for people who silver breaches, hey, American rewards, yeah, but we are talking about another level. Of course, we can use eBay cashback, whatever, credit card cashback. It's all small, but he's going behind this. He's going above this. He's talking about to get to your credit limit.
Yeah, I push
your credit limit to the maximum. He is the maximum. Yes,
I do. I drive a shuttle for a living. I push a broom and a buffer around. I make less than $25 an hour. I'm an average guy. And I have been carrying the maximum amount of credit I could carry to the point of exhaustion for 4 years. And I've maintained it for 4 years. But in that 4 years, I've also stacked 8,000 ounces of silver. So look, do you want it or don't you? I'm not trying to be a pitch man. I'm not a silver pumper. I'm just telling you that there are assets out there. There are financial instruments out there that you can use if you're really, really passionate about trying to own more precious metals before this thing goes big.
Yeah,
that is a quick and dirty avenue to take. It's not clean, but you can make it work for you. But you didn't create it. You're just using it.
Yeah, but always have your head and your strategy and never copy anybody, right? Like I say, listen to all and follow on, because it is your life, and everyone has his life. I have kids, I have family, and I have my priorities. And if I tell my wife, we go all in, he will look on me like a crazy. Okay, divorce tomorrow, divorce. Okay. Silver5150. Wow, it was very nice, and I hope I enjoy from the conversation. And I'm telling you, a lot of things which you expose, I'm going to implement, like credit card. I'm going to implement probably very soon, because I never use my credit score. But I think, why not? We are before the end. You need to.
Sir. It's just sitting there waiting for you to take advantage of it. It really is.
We are sitting here, and someone pink like silver is $28. Guys, silver is going to hit $50. We all know this. We don't know when, but it's going to happen, right?
Yeah,
so why I care it's today or tomorrow? I don't care. It may be in 1 week, in 1 month, right? I don't believe it will be in 1 year. But, we need to concentrate how to load more than, when it will happen. Who cares when it will happen? Be ready. Wow, very cool, very cool. Silver5150, you have a nice week next week. Okay, we'll talk and schedule something.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, guys, thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.